You are listening to Take Charge podcast, hosted by
Anthony Joseph.
And we are back with a new episode. We are back with the updates that we promised you that we're gonna offer it to you on a weekly basis. Dr. Anand, again, thanks a lot for coming. For this week, I just wanna start with the main question. What's going on in Dubai? Why can't we drive anymore? What's going in the city?
Okay, great question. And firstly, Anthony, great to be back again on this. Let's look at this from two perspectives. Right. What happens typically to a city when there's a recession?
It's empty.
It's empty, including the roads. So what happens when the roads are full?
We're suffering.
It means its business is booming.
Yeah,
people are coming in. Even when we still have extreme weather, it's not stopping people from coming to Dubai. It's a great sign for us that the economy is in a very healthy space. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you look at all the top cities in the world, especially their metros and downtown areas, look at London, look at New York, look at Paris, look at Tokyo, look at Mumbai, Sydney. You go to any major city, one of the biggest things that people will talk about is the traffic, especially in the downtown commercial areas. Dubai is exactly the same today. And what does that tell you? Today, we are sitting in the same space as some of the best cities in the world.
And the most mature ones.
And the most mature ones. And it took them hundreds of years to do that. We've done it in 27 years. For me, while I know it's a bit of an inconvenience, it's the kind of convenience I would rather have in our city rather than having free-flowing empty roads with no one in our city. So it's a good thing for us.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit, like, this word is becoming like a trend. Like, we are in a bubble and the bubble is gonna burst and this and... For God's sake, can you explain first of all to people what is a bubble, how a bubble grows and how a bubble bursts?
Okay, great. Firstly, the way they talk about bubbles is true. I mean, they treat Dubai like as if it's one giant bathtub in which we have all these big bubbles. Firstly, it's a very strong bubble. We've been hearing this from 2005 and it has never burst. Now, let's understand firstly, what is a bubble? Because I don't think people really understand what's a bubble. By definition, a bubble, particularly in real estate, means when you have prices that are rising very quickly and over a long period of time, a sustained period of time. Now, when you look at that definition, yes, Dubai prices have been rising very quickly and it's consistently rising over time. But that's not how you calculate a bubble. The bubble is a risk when this increase is happening. It's consistent, but it is not in sync with the increase in rents and the economic agendas of cities. So when you have a city, for example, where rents are steady and they're not increasing, it means there is no demand for people coming in. And in such a market, when you find prices going up and a lot of launches happening, there is a high risk because there is no demand for renting. Those are going to collapse at some point. But that's not the case in Dubai. Rents have gone up between 22 to 24%, showing that there is a huge demand. If you look at the economic agenda of Dubai, it is an aggressive growth model. When you have an aggressive growth model, you cannot have a slow-paced real estate growth model as well, because real estate is the critical infrastructure that supports the economic agendas. So when you're growing economically, commercially, for holiday homes, for tourism, it's only natural hotels will explode, office buildings will explode, residential communities will come up. When number of new businesses are on the rise, there is a need for the infrastructure, residential, commercial, as well as tourism related. So this is not the bubble. The bubble is if the economy is not growing, if there is no requirement for new commercial spaces and communities, and then prices are rising and they're rising continuously, it is going to collapse. That would be the bubble. Now, if you look at Dubai, and if you look at the reports that are out in terms of the GDP, the gross domestic product, currently the World Bank, the IMF, S&P Global, their projections for the global economy is 2.4% this year. It is going to be 2.6% next year and 2.9% in 2025. Dubai this year is on 4%. This is the World Bank and the IMF. We are 50% ahead of the world average. The two strongest economies in the world, two of the most strongest economies, India and China. We are at 4%. India is at 4.5% and China is at 5.5%.
Comparing to their population,
we're talking China and India and Dubai or UAE. UAE is at 4%. The US is at 1.4%. So when you see that there is an aggressive economic agenda with Sheikh Mohammed's D33, where we're going to double our economy in the next 10 years. That means we're looking at a 10% size growth rate, the volume growth, not just GDP, 10% volume growth because of new industries coming in. Look at the commercial gaming coming in, what that's going to do to our agenda. Look at artificial intelligence, look at health tourism. So with all of this coming, you have an aggressive agenda from the government, economic agenda with one of the strongest growth rates in the world, driving the city forward. It is not possible in this kind of city that there will be a slow-paced real estate growth, because real estate has to support the agenda of the government of Dubai.
100%.
So that's not the bubble. The bubble is when rents are down or very stable, economic growth is slow, and prices keep rising. That's an unrealistic market.
Speaking of this, also, like, we're hearing the term money laundering, all of this. Can we explain to people what is money laundering and how it's not happening in here? Can we do this, please?
Of course, sure. Look, money laundering is simply the concept of money that is not
Untraceable.
untraceable,
money,
it's not registered.
Which is buying assets
Yes.
with it and liquidating it later
The
on.
money is being liquidated or is being converted into legal currency, and there are multiple ways that is being done. That has been the model of money management around the world, even if you go back centuries. But as cities evolved and countries became more progressive and wanted to attract international investments, the need for transparency and the need for an accountability in money management came up. So all cities eventually will toe this line. So all these guys who are into all this kind of money are going to be looking for smaller cities in the future. Dubai is no more that kind of a city. We today have the CIA with us in Abu Dhabi. We've got anti-money or laundering laws in place. Governing bodies are there. The KYC is now happening. And it's important to understand, because some resistances come from certain types of buyers or business owners with regards to KYC. For example, if you went to a bank today, nobody will question KYC. But go to the bank 20 years ago. When they brought it in, everybody resisted it.
Yeah.
Anything that comes in new gets resisted, but today it's accepted as norm. We now have 4 industries that are coming under the scanner here. You've got real estate, you've got startup companies, you've got accounting firms, and you've got legal firms. Now, what's the logic of these 4 coming? It makes perfect sense. One of the best industries that can be used as a cover to clean out your money is real estate, because you could even do a gradual, slow, over the next 5, 10, 15 years cleaning of your money. So that's the reason why real estate companies and brokerages have come under the scanner, because it is a huge attraction for people. The second that came under the scanner was free zone companies. Why? Because many of these people who have that intention set up shell companies, or they set up a legal entity under which they're going to do all these transactions. Now, the first thing you would do if you wanted to launder your money is not just set up an agency. I will have a lawyer on my side to protect me when things go wrong. So legal consulting firms have also come under the scanner to check who are your new clients coming in as well as your existing ones. So it's not just the new, the existing as well. For example, I have a free zone license for my company with Virtue Zone. But when I went to renew the license last year, though I've had it for over 10 years, I had to do the KYC. Because there was no previous checks on who am I and what I do with my business, but now it's clear. So legal firms have come under it. The second thing is I need an accountant to manage and push this money around for me. So that's the reason why a major channel through which money is laundered, real estate, is under the scanner. Setting up of companies is under the scanner, free zones, also legal firms and accounting firms.
Would like also to add something for people to understand it, that there is no developer in Dubai that they accept money cash. What they all will tell you that they are willing to accept $10,000 cash, which is for the booking fees, and the remaining payment has to come through a check or through a bank transfer. So all of this money that people are purchasing real estate with is coming from the bank. It's verified. Everyone knows what's the source of the money. Therefore, this term of everyone keeps saying this is a money laundering, it doesn't work like that. Understand what the term is, understand how it happens, and understand how UAE has been fighting this for almost a year now.
It's the same like the bubble, right? It's
Exactly.
hearsay that's
Bubble,
out
money
there,
laundering, yeah.
and people throw these. But when you ask them, where exactly did you get that from? What exactly does that mean? They don't know.
And that's why we're here to educate people so they don't sound as silly as they are sounding online.
It's probably ignorant, that's
Yes.
it. But I hope through these they will realize it and become the ambassadors for our city rather than being the ones to throw stones at it.
Great. Doctor, we have seen the announcement yesterday that the federal bank will continue holding the 5.25 up to 5.5 the interest, and it's going to be as well implemented in here. Now, how would this affect the West, and how this might or not affect us?
All right, the West negatively for us doesn't affect us. What's the proof of this? There's been 8 increases in the last
Transactions,
1.5 years.
Yeah.
There's been 8 increases in the last 1.5 years. It did not affect any investments here. In fact, last year was our record year. 528 billion was invested in Dubai. The first time this market ever hit $500 billion. Yes, the Russian influence was massive on that, but the Russians weren't the only people who were buying. They did have a significant impact, but we had most of the other nationalities coming in. And since we are currently in an investor-driven market, cash is the heavy mode of payment. When we say cash, not cold, hard, physical cash, self-funded purchases, buying on plans from the developers.
Are we still holding 88% of CAN's transactions against?
No, we're not holding 88 now. If you look at last week, it was 68% cash,
Okay.
32% mortgage. But the average for this year is around 80% cash, 20% mortgage.
Okay.
And that's understandable because a lot of projects that had been launched 2020 and some of them before COVID are all in the handover phases now. For those, when homeowners are coming, they are looking to take mortgages, plus the 10-year visa is encouraging more of them to get into these homes so they can apply for the visa. So we can definitely see that happening. But you don't read the market based on 1 week, last week, 1 month, because it's a trend that goes over 2-3 years.
Correct.
That's what we look at. For example, you had the Palm Jebel Ali yesterday. Wait and see, because those transactions that were allocated, the booking amounts will have to be fully paid, and then you'll also have to have the SPAs generated, and they will come in for registrations within the next 2 weeks to, I would say, 4-5 weeks, based on how long the SPAs take. You're going to see a ridiculous amount of cash transactions versus a mortgage ratio.
Like this week, I've seen Palm Jebel Ali that started with 18.7 million, sell out in couple of hours, which was nuts. Then Medina Jumeirah Living that sold in less than 1 hour. Even now we're seeing the projects in Ras Al Khaimah also flying, like Ennington had their project and they're flying. So the amount of investment that happened only in this week, maybe it's comparing to the whole summer when it was really like slowing down and most of people were outside of the city. So this what happened this week by itself is like a answer to everyone. Like it's still there.
Where was the slowdown in summer, Anthony?
There was a slowdown. No, I'm telling you, there was slowdown in terms of, as we see now, developers are launching once, twice, 3 times per week. In the summer, they were doing 1 project a month, knowing that there is not as much as people and in the city to get
we
it.
had 30 launches last month.
Yeah.
But let's come back to this topic we're talking about. Yes, you're right. The amount of investment that came in. Now, just do simple mathematics here. You had 801 villas, 5, 6, and 7 bedrooms that Nakil launched. Starting prices came in at a little over 18 million.
18.7.
Even if you take 18 million on 800 villas, that in a couple of hours, that sales locked in at over 16 billion. 16 billion in just a couple of hours.
And buyers had to pay 24%.
Yes.
Not 5% booking, 24%.
But some of the units are worth 25 million, 30 million, 40
32,
million.
40
So a cool 18 to 20 billion has happened in just 2 to 3 hours on 4 fronts on that project. When you are talking about the #1 investment opportunity on the planet, of course you're going to see that kind of numbers.
And not to forget the number of people aligned outside with checks that they're looking to get the unit and they couldn't get the unit. This was absolutely like madness, and we love to see stuff like that. Doctor, I have a question that I've been listening to it recently from the investors. So the investors, they were all saying, okay, it's about time to move our money in Ras Al Khaimah, to diversify a bit. Everything is coming. It's going to be the next boom, which is happening.
It is happening.
Some people now, they're saying, okay, so since the gaming is coming to Dubai as well, why
Yes.
would I invest in Ras Al Khaimah? The only reason why I wanted to invest in Ras Al Khaimah is because of the legal gaming over there. Now it's coming to Dubai. I think I should put money in Dubai. What do you say to this too, on your own personal opinion?
Yeah, well, I think both the markets are going to boom. Ras Al Khaimah will attract a lot of attention for the first 2 to 3 years. Dubai is going to take a certain amount of time before they're going to have to announce some new. For example, look at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
Caesar's Palace is now moved out of Blue Waters. It's banyan tree that's coming in there.
Correct.
Because they're going to come up with projects that carry the personality of world-class casinos. The Ras Al Khaimah Casino is one of the top 10 in the world.
The Wynn, yeah, of course.
At Wynn, 18,500 square meters. It is double the size of the one in Las Vegas. So it's one of the top 10. Dubai, knowing how we do things, are going to go bigger. We're going to go grander, a flashier thing. And you need different kinds of hotels and areas to be able to handle that sort of thing. So yes, it is coming into Dubai as well. But there are investors, you can wait. You'll probably have to wait a year, year and a half, and you can still get an investment opportunity. But there are those who are jumping into Ras Al Khaimah right now and making anything between 30 to 100% within the next 1 year to 18 months. That's the opportunity that you're losing right now. Dubai and Ras Al Khaimah are going to be anchors and drive this forward. Today, we have so much coming into the UAE that we can very easily share the pie across 2 or 3 emirates and not feel the pinch or the dent in the amount coming in. Plus, you also have to keep in mind, when you look at Ras Al Khaimah, we have RAC DAO, which is the Digital Assets Oasis. The first crypto-free zone in the world has been set up in Ras Al Khaimah. What do you think that was set up for? It is so that they will now be able to bring the crypto and convert it into the casinos. That is in place. RAC TDA, the Tourism and Development Authority, is going very aggressive in their future plans. Now you have the Commercial Gaming Regulatory Authority. So you got a regulatory authority, you got the Tourism and Development Authority, and you got the Digital Assets Oasis all coming together. The next 2 to 3 years is going to be massive for Ras Al Khaimah, and then Dubai will catch up. And the reason we'll catch up is while Ras Al Khaimah is going to promote a lot on the tourism front and the gaming, as a city and as its infrastructure and as a non-gaming commercial attraction, they are far behind Dubai. So Dubai will be all of what RAC has got and much more. So for sure, yes, there are great opportunities, but it means you're going to wait 2 to 3 years. But you're going to lose an amazing opportunity right now in RAC.
We have seen the unfortunate news which is happening between India and Canada, and it's escalating. How would this impact us?
I have got 2 views on this. If you look at history between all countries, there are times when something happens and it threatens a significant economic impact. And there's more noise, there's more smoke than the real fire. And people are speculating a lot. You see, when you speculate, it's dangerous because speculations are not always built on fact. Everyone becomes an expert and puts their bit in. So the problem snowballs. That's the first thing. If you are patient and wait a little while, you will find that while it is a core burning issue, it will not affect or impact economically what's going to happen. I mean, we have long-term issues that's been going on with Iran next door for I don't know how many years.
Since before I was born.
Exactly. It has in no way impacted the business that's been going on in there. So this happens all around the world. That's the first thing I would like to say. Secondly, if there had to be anything, it is in our favor. Because the Indians who are staying there, and I mean, this is just my perception, the Indians there who are not feeling very safe would rather come here. But that's not just Canada, that's Australia, that's UK, that's the US. People from all over are coming here. That's why the highest number of the millionaires migrating to any place on the planet is the UAE. These are millionaires. Visas are not an issue. Finances are not an issue. Picking up a lifestyle, setting up companies, sending kids to the best schools, best medical coverages, none of these are issues for them. They can go anywhere in the world, and they're choosing the UAE. So for us, it's going to be another reason for people to consider this place for
as
us.
like a kind of migration.
Absolutely.
Coming into the city.
Absolutely.
Doctor, I was reading the announcement from Dubai Tourism Department. You know that we're gonna close this year 2023 on 154,000 hotel units in Dubai, and there is almost 23,000 holiday homes apartment registered in the tourism department. What does this say for the coming 24, 5 and 6? And of course, aligning with the D33 plan all the way up to the 2040.
Okay. Worries me actually. Worries me in a good way. We're short of rooms. We are the #1 visited place on the planet today. And we're short of rooms. So there's a premium, a demand for these hotels. Did you know on Palm Jebel Ali alone, you'll have close to 400,000 hotel rooms coming up. 400,000 hotel rooms.
8,000 brands.
Yeah, and 80 hotels. So we are short. This 164,000 is what we have built over the last 20 years. You got one project which will have 400,000 rooms on there. So there's a huge shortage for us going forward. And again, part of the D33 agenda and 2040 is this massive boost being given to the tourism sector. The commercial gaming is going to do that as well. So all of this is not Dubai and developers going crazy. It's a clear, sustained, intentional development so that we can align with the agenda. That's what's happening. So that's why you can never separate the real estate from the economic agenda. That's it. Good position for us.
Thank you. Another great episode, another very informative episode. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.
You are listening to Take Charge podcast, hosted by
Anthony Joseph.